Hey guys, welcome back. Robocraft Burst Fire episode 3. I'm Enigmas, and today, very short episode looking at the new rotor blades. You can see it connects on all four sides around the block at the bottom of the rotor blade, plus underneath. So 5 connection points. I just wanted to show you that very briefly. Once you get your own rotor blades, and they start I think at tier 5 and go all the way up, you'll have an opportunity to see for yourself a little bit closer, mess around a little bit. Very interesting to work with. They kind of remind you of rotor blades. They don't have a lot of balance on their own, but if you do kind of a decent job of building your bot, they're not too bad. I originally built this, you can see I built kind of a cage around that lower large rotor blade. That wasn't enough to lift the bot, ironically. It took me a little while before I could accept that that wasn't that was the case, that it was not having enough lift to do anything with the bot. I brought it into the practice map just like that, and it was just kind of rotating around on the ground. So I put the rear rotor blade on, thinking maybe if I stabilized it, that would help. It didn't, so I put the second large rotor blade on top, and that was finally enough lift to get it up off the ground. The rear rotor blade does help in terms of turning, but it's kind of like a momentum thing. When you press the key to move, there's a brief pause where it seems like it's not doing anything, and then it kind of slowly starts to turn around, and the longer you hold it, the faster it goes. So there's probably still going to be some room for maneuvering thrusters on these things to kind of get them turning a little bit faster. I tried putting some thrusters on the underside of the cage, and they were too much. I was just doing little loop-de-loops, partly because of the positioning, but also possibly because it was 4 tier 10 thrusters. It might have just been a little bit of overkill. So there's a little bit of playing around to do to find out how thrusters will fit with the rotor blades to get the most out of it. It seems like if you can get them on in a balanced way, that thrusters will make these things quite fast. So that's definitely kind of an interesting thing about them. It's just finding out exactly where you want to put them in order to get that benefit. Beyond that, you can mount pretty much anything you want. If I was going to do rails, which is what we're going to be doing with this build, we're going to want some sort of stability. So walker legs, I'm hoping that they're not too heavy. If we have to put a third large rotor blade on, we might be in a little bit of trouble just in terms of making ourselves too large of a target. But we can always mess around with positioning and things like that so that we can try and, not have them all stacked one on top of the other. Not that I mind. Like this, I don't mind that. I would build the cage around it a little bit more if I thought I could handle the weight, but I don't think I can. So you can see I brought it in for a hard landing, just holding down shift. And it bounced, and it kind of rolled right over, back right side up. So that was kind of a good thing too. Lots of SMGs, you have, helicopter gunships, that would probably work. People are going to be putting plasma on these things, you got to know that that's going to work. So really, really interesting platform for doing a lot of really cool things, and the kind of thing that you can play around with to get it to work the way you want it to, as opposed to just slapping stuff together and it goes. So definitely looking forward to messing around with these. I'll be putting out the build video for the Railbot as soon as we start getting stuff together. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.